Jesus in our midst in this world. Jesus planted the seed of God, God's love, into our world by the life that he lived and the message that he taught. And here we are, planted in this world of 2011, just like in the gospel, in the midst of wheat and weeds. We are called, which is one of the messages of the gospel today, we are called to live side by side, and to let God do the judging at the end of time. He's reminding us that the weeds and the wheat can easily be confused. And the weeds and the weeds are basically us. It's easy to confuse because we are all created in the image and likeness of God. Now, the other half of the truth of this gospel, or another perspective that goes hand in hand with this, is that within our imperfect selves, there are wheat and weeds within us. At times, we can be good, kind, caring, loving, generous, and forgiving. At other times, we can be selfish, mean, spiteful, hurtful. So there's that mixture within ourselves that we work on in life. But if you heard the parable correctly, as I read it, my understanding is you don't want to end up being a weed. You're going to get burns all over. You know what burning means, huh? You don't want to go there. You want, as we try to do the best we can, to weed out sin in our lives and become the best image and likeness of God we can possibly be as we grow in this life. In other words, becoming the best of wheat. So this parable of the wheat and the weeds is Jesus' way of reminding us that we need to be patient with each other as he is patient with us, and gives us chances to repent, to grow, to become slowly but surely more and more his image and likeness. And this parable also reminds us that with this patience, therefore, we don't judge others. We leave that up to God. This couple went to a full-service gas station. And as the attendant was putting the gas in the car, as they often do at full-service places, he washed the windshield. When he finished washing the windshield, the husband rolled the window down and said to the attendant, "It's still dirty, wash it again." The attendant dutifully went and washed it again, but looked carefully to see if he missed any spots, any streaks. Looked good to him as he's walking back to the gas part. The husband leans out again and says, "It's still dirty, go wash it again." He was fuming. He said to his wife, "I'm going to tell his boss, he doesn't do a good job." His wife calmly took off his glasses, cleaned them, put them back on. It was amazing how clean the windshield looked all of a sudden. How easy it is to blame others and become impatient with them. How easy it is to forget how imperfect and smudged we can be because of who we are. This patient thing We can give credit to God for teaching us how we can work with people sometimes we least expect. God is patient with the wheat and the weeds. There are some very special cases that we are aware of because of God's patience. These people blossomed as good wheat. St. Augustine, St. Paul, St. Thomas, St. Peter. None of these were angels at different times of their lives. God was patient with them. Now, to trust in God and to learn to be patient with each other's weaknesses, faults, etc., is risky living and risky discipleship. But it is the way of the Lord. And part of what we strive to grow in throughout our lives is to make the Lord's ways more our ways. He knows it's not going to happen overnight. That's the beauty of it all. He's patient. He lets us grow slowly but surely. In The Hague, in the Netherlands, behind the bench of justice in the International Court, there's a quote that I think can give us something to reflect upon in light of this gospel today. It says, "Let the seats of justice be filled with virtuous men and women," the judges, in other words, "but not so virtuous that they forget what human frailty is." As Catholics, we are blessed with the sacrament of penance, one of God's ways of being patient with us. A sacrament that helps us to weed out sin within us through God's forgiving love, which helps us to become less judgmental as we celebrate this sacrament and recognize our own sinfulness and His loving kindness in forgiveness and His patience with us. It helps us to be patient with others, with our own self, and to become less judgmental. We also have the wonderful gift of the Eucharist that we're gathered here around this altar to nourish and strengthen us with God's loving patience, so that we can become wheat, the best of wheat,